This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies.
Try it at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Get your 2026 calendar sorted, Wine Coven, because the gals are going to Mexico City in January of 2026, and we want you to come along.
This trip will be an immersive whirlwind of food, culture, tequila. We will see the works of legendary artists like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. We're going to try our hands at mezcal mixology, stroll historic city streets, and enjoy tacos and tequila like a local. Whether you have visited Mexico City before or it's your first time, it's my first time, it's her first time. This itinerary is designed to pack a lifetime of memories into just 4 colorful, exciting, enriching days with us gals.
And tickets go live Friday, April 18th, so join our Trova mailing list to get access. You can find that link below or in our bio. Spots go very fast, so do not miss out on this amazing trip, and hopefully we will see you in Mexico City.
Hasta luego!
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where 2 friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm Amanda.
I'm Lucy.
And this week we have a doozy of a fan pick, and I have beef with this fan picker, but we'll get to it when we get to my case. Brought to us by Kelly Porch, who understandably chose the topic of Porch Pirates.
Porch Pirates.
And Kelly Porch would like to dedicate this episode, this offering, to Angela and Tall Kelly.
Yeah. Not Kelly Porch, not Small Kelly.
Not
Tall
Small Kelly, Tall Kelly. And
Mm-hmm.
don't forget Angela.
No.
She works in accounting and she loves her cats.
And her Ann Gettys.
Yes. Lucy will be adhering to the guidelines of the fan pick topic today.
Yes, this is not your fault.
I will be adhering to the guidelines of the fan pick case, and they do not align.
No, they don't.
But we'll get to it.
Kelly was like, fuck it. It's fine.
Fuck it. And you know what, Kelly? Fuck it. Fuck it.
But also, I'm going to try to be as lighthearted as I can be because I know your case is the opposite.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad. Y'all are freaks. Y'all are a bunch of unhinged freaks. And I'm not going to lie, I love that about you. But sometimes
You're very, very dark.
You're very dark. It comes from a dark, deeply dark place. We honor that. We honor that darkness with this episode today. And if you are more like me, you can't be sober to do this. So I, as I'm sure you couldn't tell at all, engaged in copious herbal remedies before we began recording this episode. But our fan picker, Kelly Porch, did want us to recommend a Pinot Noir as the pairing for this week's episode. I assume that's because that's like their fave varietal, or maybe a fave varietal of their dedicated friends, Angela and Tall Kelly. Who knows?
I think Kelly Porch said that when they imagine relaxing on their porch, that is accompanied with a glass of Pinot or some herbal supplements.
I love that. And if you really want to get, summery with it, you could deviate from the classic Pinot Noir and have a cold, crisp Pinot Noir rosé, which is not what I'm recommending today, but that's also an option. If the vibe is sitting on the porch, then an ice cold glass of rosé on a hot evening on the porch, and it's like you could see the condensation. It's getting your hand all wet.
Sweating. Yeah, sweating on the porch. But I found, which is available at Total Wine, so most people should be able to access this, a great Pinot Noir. And this is really one that if you're like wanting to feel expensive or impress friends at a dinner party or something for less than $20, this is the wine for you. And at least as we're recording this on April 23rd of 2025, it is on sale. Oh,
at Total Wine. So it was already a steal at $17.99, but now it's on sale for $14.99.
Doesn't get much better than that.
It sure doesn't.
You know what I bought on sale today at Hy-Vee?
What?
A bunch of Resolve pet stain carpet cleaner things.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
20% off.
Yeah, I need to get that for cat puke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nature's Miracle, the foam that you can like leave to soak into the carpet and then scrub is also pretty good. Also pretty good. But hopefully you can avoid needing Resolve by not spilling this. And it is a cracker, not a pop. So it's like a little bit less jarring when you open it and less likely to like jump out of the bottle and spill everywhere. But I highly recommend picking up the Samuel Robert Pinot Noir. This is a Willamette Vineyard Reserve, so it's a Willamette Valley Pinot.
Willamette.
Oh, my God, Willamette.
Damn it,
Willamette. Located in Oregon. That's where you're going to get those really... If you get an American Pinot, you're going to knock it out of the park every time with a Willamette Pinot. It's just the way to go, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, California is great, but this is like cream of the crop. This has aromas of dark cherry and cinnamon that will draw you into this beautifully handcrafted Pinot Noir. On the palate, refreshing red fruits and light tannins round out the wine nicely. Oh. Its polish and grace exemplifies the beauty of a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. She's 13.5% ABV. Some wine reviewers will list this as medium-bodied. I would say it's on the lighter side, as most Pinot Noirs are. It's 100% Pinot Noir. Again, I said it's a cracker, so this is an easy one to travel with. If you're concerned that the hotel room doesn't have a wine key, pick up this Sammy Robert Pinot Noir.
Or bring your own. Wine and Crime branded wine key, available at wineandcrimepodcast.bigcartel.com.
But if you're invited to an upcoming dinner party and you know for sure that they will be serving either beef, pork, or chicken, babe, this pairing with like grilled meats, get out of here.
Yum.
Perfect for the parch. But yeah, I am drinking water and floating high above the clouds. What are you sipping on or sucking on today?
I have a THC seltzer in my fridge. I might just go grab that on our break.
That's smart. That's really smart. That would be
I don't want to be the only one down here on Earth.
No, please leave Earth with me.
I will leave Earth any day with you.
It is the best way to deal with this.
All of this. I'm barely hanging on.
Not the best way. Don't listen to me. I'm not a therapist, but which reminds me, send in your mansplaining questions because I need more.
Yes.
I'm up next month, which when this comes out might be this month. So
there's no way to know.
Send them in, babes. And if you don't know what we're talking about, join Wine and Crime Uncorked.
Yeah. Amanda gives out free advice.
Yep. For better or for worse.
And everyone needs advice from Amanda.
Don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everyone wants this.
For as unhinged as you are, like psychologically, you give excellent advice.
I give excellent advice to everyone but myself.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Yep, you're taking one for the team.
Always do. Well, to those at home who may be opening that bottle, enjoy yourself a nice crack. And we are going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors and then come back to get the softer side of Porch Pirates before we dive into utter hell on earth.
Can't wait.
Can't wait! Y'all know I'm not a frequent shaver, so when I do get to my legs, which I actually just did the other day, it's a challenge that not every razor is up for, okay? And if you're like me, if you're going from the bath to maybe the beach, and it's time to have a little bit of a shave, Flamingo helps keep you smooth whatever the season. With shaving, hair removal, and body care products built with your body in mind, baby. Flamingo is revolutionizing hair removal and just body care by focusing on what's important. High quality, affordable solutions for the places you really want to have smooth.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with how sharp the Flamingo blades stay. Like, especially in the areas where we get ingrown hairs frequently. Yep. This is a very big boost. I also am a huge fan of the aftershave, like, serum.
I love the cream, the foaming shave cream.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I just gotta say that serum, it's like a lotion, but it has hyaluronic acid in it also. So like it deeply hydrates those areas after you finish shaving them.
Yeah.
So if you've never heard of Flamingo before, just like think high performance and innovative design for every routine, all at a very, very nice price. It's designed for you and your unique body, hair, and care needs. Flamingo has the products for you, no matter your style. Oh, I also got the Dermaplane.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
You know I did too.
Oh my gosh. I texted my sister because she had recently, like the week before I received my Dermaplane, been like, have you ever used a Dermaplane? I was like, no, but I have one coming.
So soft.
She like kind of told me how to use it, and then I used it, and then I texted her and I said, my cheek feels like a balloon, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, like in a good way. It feels
so
like
smooth and soft.
Like a taut, hairless balloon.
Yeah, it gets the little tiny fuzz hairs off, but it also gets like the dead skin.
Yeah, it's not even
amazing.
just about hair. It's like just smoothing the whole surface. It's really awesome. I'm totally on the Dermaplane train.
Yep.
So as far as like their everyday razor, this is designed for you and the places that you shave, all of the places that you shave. It's got a flexible hinge design, and that is intended to hug every curve of your body and get those hard to reach areas. They've got their original razor, which is great for your everyday shave. Also, their pubic razor that is specifically designed for coarser hair and shaving the hard-to-reach spots. You know, the angles and such that you find down there. They also have their new Moisture Plus razor. That is a one-step razor that's perfect for people with hair on the go.
So keep smooth and refreshed with Flamingo hair removal products made with your body in mind. Get started with an exclusive offer for our listeners, 25% off your first order at shopflamingo.com/gals when you use code GALS. That's shopflamingo.com/gals, code GALS.
The temps are rising, and once they started rising and like showing themselves in like me being sweaty in my normal like winter
Black
attire.
leggings, black sweater.
Exactly. I'm starting to realize I'm in the same worn out rotation. It's the same tank, it's the same shorts, it's the same everything, it's the same black leggings. So I'm going to give my daily uniform an upgrade with Quince. Their pieces are easy, elevated, and somehow make me feel more put together without even trying.
Honestly, because they really do have all of the classic staples that are so easy to like make the foundation of your wardrobe and then rotate out. They've got 100% European linen shorts and dresses from $30. They've got luxe swimwear. They have Italian leather platform sandals and so much more. You're really going to be looking like one of those celebs on, you know, the They're Just Like Us page, like looking
but they like have
put
a
together in the
stylist.
house. Yes, precisely. The best part, everything with Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. So they do this by working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middleman. Quince gives you luxury without all that markup, and Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, so you can feel good about what you're buying. And let me tell you, it's gonna last. Like, I have the cutest linen romper, and it's like this delicate navy and white stripe with a cute little waist bow. I love that. It washes so easily. I wear it all the time in the summer, and it's like such an easy thing to throw in your suitcase, and like that's
you look
a whole
so
outfit.
Professional.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Treat your closet to a little summer glow up with Quince. Go to quince.com/wine for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/wine, WINE, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wine.
So I struggle to like want to eat in the morning, and also I always feel like I want coffee and then I drink it and I am wired and my stomach hurts and it just like does not agree with me very well. But your girl is not a morning person, so if I do need to be getting up and out of bed, I'm going to need something that is going to help me like hone my focus, wake me up, and get me ready for the day. And frankly, Mudwater has been such a godsend. Like, I can reach for these mushroom blend, you know, coffee replacement, really, and not have the jitters and not have the gut rot and feel like good and ready to take on my day. And it's that cozy mix of cacao, chai, turmeric, and then they've got these adaptogenic mushrooms that help you feel focused and balanced but not wired. It's kind of a miracle.
It's like nature's coffee.
Bounty.
Like, I know coffee is like a natural thing, but this just feels like a little bit more natural. It's better on your gut is what I'm going to say. Mudwater's products are 100% USDA certified organic. They're non-GMO, gluten-free, and they're kosher. There's also zero sugar and no sweeteners added. So, like, if you're looking for some kind of alternative to coffee, either just as a morning routine or just like a morning wake me up or just like something to sort of get you started for the day, and coffee just isn't
working
doing it
anymore
for you because it doesn't work for just everybody. You gotta give Mudwater a try. You just like put some powder in your favorite mug, pour some water in it, or like oat milk or whatever your preferred liquid is. Give it a little mix. Maybe jazz it up with some creamer, some honey, even some CBD. Yeah. Also,
It's so good.
I can't recommend more strongly their turmeric starter kit.
Oh, so good.
This blends radiant ginger, warm turmeric, and rooibos chai. So if you're looking for a blend to support immunity, digestion, focus with clean energy, all those feelings of like the golden hour at sunset, this one is a game changer.
So if you're ready to make the switch to cleaner energy, head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code GALS. That's right, up to 43% off with code GALS at mudwtr.com. After you purchase, they'll ask how you found them. Please show your support and let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. Okay. We're back.
We're back.
Lucy, what is our background? I'm sure just a ton of psych and probably a case for Porch Pirates.
You know, this one was a little weird because I was like, oh, Porch Pirates, that happens all the time. There's so much material.
Should be.
But it's like not, first of all, it's way underreported. And like authorities don't really keep track of it. They don't care.
The cops really don't care if your stuff's getting stolen unless it's like a big felony amount of stuff.
Yeah. If it's over, I think $1,000 is the threshold that makes it a felony.
I think it's 500.
Oh, I read 1,000.
Hey Siri, what is the threshold in the United States for a robbery to be a felony?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the threshold in the United States for a robbery to be a felony. Check it out.
I don't think it knew what I was talking about because I didn't say anything about money. Continue. I'm going to find this out.
Do threshold for felony larceny. Okay, well, if you don't know what a porch pirate is.
You're right, $1,000.
All right.
Yep.
I feel
Yep.
validated.
Oh, wait. It's at least in Minnesota. Maybe that's everywhere. Okay.
Doesn't a felony kind of infer that it's everywhere?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess no. No, it doesn't. Whatever. We'll actually get to it. Okay. A porch pirate refers to a thief driven by opportunity, not planning.
Right.
So we have predatory crimes and we have crimes of opportunity. There's sort of the two classifications.
Couldn't you argue that a serial porch pirate who targets like certain neighborhoods would know what houses get frequent deliveries, and that could be considered planning?
Yes, and I think it's both, really, because
as it's also, I see it. I see something, grab something.
Yeah, obviously the crime can't be committed without said opportunity, and there are ways that you can protect yourself from it, so it's not 100% predation. Mm-hmm. It's a little both.
Why not both?
But you can't exactly plan for it, like hard and fast, concrete details. You can't really plan for it. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, it's kind of like jazz.
Yeah, it's not like a heist.
No, correct. So the thief will wait for packages to be delivered, and then they swoop in and snatch it up.
Mm.
But they don't even know what they're stealing. And that is kind of where the majority of the opportunistic part comes in. Because that's like the least planned part about it, is what it is that you're stealing.
There was this guy on TikTok that was making like elaborate glitter bombs inside of packages because they had a repeat offender porch pirate. Mm-hmm. And I think they put a camera in it.
They did. I watched the video.
Yeah, that was very clever.
Yes. So it had like a GPS and like it exploded.
Mm-hmm. It didn't explode like in a dangerous way.
Not like in a bomb way, but it with oomph blue glitter all over everything.
Like in Parks and Rec, when Leslie Knope asks her husband Ben Wyatt to prom by surprising him in his office when he opened a specific drawer, ticker tape blew out of it and balloons started growing out of the drawer, and then he almost had a heart attack.
You know what? I need to watch Parks and Rec.
You really do.
Yes, I've seen that video. And then also, like, in the video, there's a ton of other shit that the guy had obviously stolen.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that, the teamwork aspect.
I have friends who live in downtown Minneapolis, and I'm not going to say specifically what neighborhood because I'm not a Looney Tune, but they really love their complex because there's like a locked package room. Packages, you have to be buzzed in to deliver the packages, and then like a person who works there signs for them and locks them into a package room. So like technically your neighbors could steal your packages that couldn't fit into your mailbox from the package room, but like that is so much less likely. Although my neighbor was stealing my packages, and I put signs up, and I had a confrontation with one of them. It was rough. It was a rough time.
It was rough in that little garden level apartment.
Yep. But I loved it.
And they stole your mattress pad.
And I got my mattress pad back. So at the end of the day, I went and searched garbage cans within all the all 3 blocks around my neighborhood because she ditched the packaging from my Casper mattress topper in the garbage.
That's ridiculous.
So I found it. It had my address on it.
Well,
I didn't put this here.
That's the stupid thing. Like I said, you don't know what you're getting. Mm-hmm. So if she didn't have a queen size mattress that like,
I mean, the packaging was branded. So like they knew what it was.
Yeah.
Adjacent from the packaging, but it wouldn't say what size or exactly what product. You're just rolling the dice. But yeah.
Yeah. But like if you order, say, an iPhone, it's going to come in a pretty well unmarked package. Amazon. You can tell it's Amazon, but who the fuck knows what's in there?
That was crazy too, because I was coming back inside from the back of my apartment. I was like ripping a cig or something out back, and I saw her coming out holding an empty box. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just got one of those delivered for me. Like, we're mattress buddies. And then she just kind of like nodded at me and then walked away. And I, like, innocent brain, didn't even think about it.
Oh my God.
And then went inside to grab my package and it was gone. And then I went to find her and she was gone. And then I found out what apartment she lived in and I went to her apartment. I was like, hey, I think you accidentally grabbed that. Trying to give her the out. Like, maybe we were both waiting for the same thing. I think that one was mine. I have this thing on my phone that said it was just delivered.
Yeah.
I was like, can I check it and see if it's mine? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about, and denied it. And that's when I was like, nope, I'm calling the landlord.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I went and found the
landlord
box.
made her give it back?
No, she heard me on the phone with the landlord, and the landlord was telling me to call the police, which I didn't want to do, but I was just like, okay. You know, like agreeing. And then I left and went back to my apartment. And I didn't call the cops, but the landlord, I guess, like had a cop like on standby who she had his direct number like on his card. And so she called him and was like, hey, there might be something, you know, there might be a neighbor dispute over at this property. So he ended up just coming anyway. But by the time he got there, I had like gone to go back outside and like smoke again because I was super stressed. And suddenly my mattress pad was just rolled up in the hallway by the laundry. She lived on the 3rd floor.
She brought it down so where you could find it.
Yep. And just dumped it back into the hallway. Yeah. And then he like took a police report from me and then knocked on her door and was like, I mean, it was like a $75 mattress topper. I was like, he's like, do you want to press charges? And I was like, no, I want people to not steal each other's packages.
Mattress topper.
Yeah, I was like, because apparently me complaining to the landlord isn't doing shit. So maybe you can tell your landlord friend who sent you over here that this is like a recurring issue and this is like my 4th package that's been stolen. I don't know if she stole all of them or if multiple people, like whatever. I caught this one moment. I caught you in the act.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That was a crazy night. I totally forgot about that. I think I was live tweeting it while it was happening too.
You were.
I don't have Twitter anymore, so that's gone. But crazy. That apartment was a trip.
I don't think I've had a package stolen off of my porch, but I've had my locked bike stolen off of my porch.
I've had multiple bikes stolen from like not out. One from a bike rack while I was out and about, and one from my like locked front porch at another rental. I was renting like a room in a duplex. Bike theft is nuts. That was a Porch Pirate incident because it was literally in my screened-in porch.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like somebody saw me come home and put it there is what really creeped me out the most about it. Because you couldn't see it from the street.
Yeah. So a few days before this bike was stolen, actually wasn't my bike, it was Corey's bike. Both of our bikes were locked up together with just a bike lock around them onto the railing of my not enclosed porch.
Right.
So you could see them from the street.
Sure.
You could also see my security cameras. So a few days before that happened, a guy came up to my door and my screen was like open. So he knocked on the door and I just kind of like looked out the window, the screen. I was like, can I help you? I didn't open the door. And he's like, is Katrina here? And I was like, there's no one here by that name. And he's like, oh, well, she gave me this address. Like, and I was like, there's no one here. I should have said, what was the address they gave you? Because he doesn't have that memorized. He was scoping out the bike lock situation and the security cameras.
Totally.
Because they came back a couple nights later. The only reason they didn't take my bike also is because they could access Corey's bike from where the cameras weren't pointing.
Porch Pirates.
Porch Pirates.
Porch.
Also, every time I have my pretty litter delivered, I'm like, you come get this. Come get this.
That
it's
would
like
be
80 pounds of cat litter. Good
That'd
luck.
be a hilarious steal. Yeah, have fun. Looks like a cute little demure mindful box, but she's heavy.
She's heavy.
Yeah.
And also have fun with 6 bags of cat litter, I guess.
You fucking loser.
It could also be like someone's fucking cancer medication.
Totally. I mean, I have medical supplies delivered for my pump.
Yeah. So not only is it an invasion of like your personal space and your property, but it's like extra offensive. It's like that's mine.
Yeah.
I paid for that.
Yeah.
And you just scurry off into the dark of night. That's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
So Porch Pirates, it takes all kinds. Frequently, the thief is unhoused or suffering from addiction and more or less desperate for money. That's a crime of desperation.
Like most crimes. Yeah, petty crimes like that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just kids looking for a thrill or like a result of peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go steal that package. Because that would be exciting if you're 15.
I dare you to ring the witch's doorbell and then steal her package. Which, surprise, it's a bunch of cat litter because, of course, the neighborhood witch is going to have that shit delivered.
She doesn't leave her house and she has 100 cats. Pretty litter is her best friend.
What did you think was going to be in there? You dumb fuck.
Oh my God. So, yeah, the peer pressure is real, but also there are professional porch pirates.
I believe it.
Yeah, so they operate usually in rings.
Mm.
They usually have teams or at least like a network, a loose network.
Like someone on the inside, like a delivery driver?
Mm.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Also like movers to help you sell the shit that you steal.
Walter White, that shit.
Yeah. So they usually operate in the suburbs, I think just because the houses are individual homes and farther apart. And
yeah. Well, and also people in the burbs have money. That's why I liked, like for my wedding, for all the accessories and stuff for the tables, I went to all the thrift stores in Minnetonka and Wayzata because I was looking for like candlesticks and shit. And I was finding like really nice like brass and silver fucking candlesticks for like $4.
Yeah. For my wedding, too, all the brass centerpieces, she went out to the expensive suburb. Well, she lives in the expensive suburbs, but she went to those stores. Some of these groups will also strike several residences in one sweep.
Mm-hmm.
So again, crime of opportunity in the sense that you can't ever guarantee that typically you can't guarantee that a package will be at a certain place at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
So they just drive around. They'll just hit a whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's an easy crime to, I feel like, pull off in the stark light of day. It's when the fewest people are home, people are at work.
Mm-hmm.
And you could even very easily, like, pose as a delivery driver in a van, put on a little vest, because there's all kinds of local delivery. You'd be walking up to people's houses anyway.
So the next thing, my next sentence, like I said, they often work in teams and can be quite sophisticated. So wearing a vest, like you just said, is one kind of strategy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of companies use third-party delivery drivers who can be paid off by the thieves to let them know what they're delivering, when, and where.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of sketchy.
Well, I mean, even now it's like all the food delivery, that's just you in your own car going up to random houses. So like if you wanted to steal packages, all you'd really have to do is carry around like a food bag and not even need any kind of disguise.
Mm-hmm.
You could just go up to somebody's house.
I think it's not the going up to the house that's the hard part. It's the walking away with a full package part. But it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it happens because every now and then we, Wine and Crime, will get an email saying that someone's merch never showed up.
Yep.
So just a little insight into what happens on the seller's end of things. If your package gets stolen, you contact whoever.
Mm-hmm.
If a retailer is using a third party, so like FedEx, which like, of course,
we use if you're not Amazon, you're
Yeah.
using a third party delivery system.
Yep. So if you're using a third party to ship your items, then as soon as the tracking information shows that it's in that carrier's hands, the liability has shifted to the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
But it will say on tracking, like, it's still in the hands of the retailer waiting for it to be dropped off at the carrier. So when they scan the barcodes, that's when the actual like
Transfer
culpability.
of liability. Yeah.
Yeah. So once an item is shown as delivered, then the carrier has shifted liability for the item to the consumer, or the customer. Proof of delivery, which can be something as simple as the driver scanning the package or like taking a photo of it outside the front door, will typically alleviate the carrier of any liability for a stolen package. You know what really grinds my gears?
What?
They send a picture of a package, and that's not your house.
Oh, I know. I don't get photos very often from package delivery, but
DoorDash.
I'm an Uber Eats girly, and I am a please leave at my door, and don't talk to me person.
Yep.
So they send the picture, and our neighbors, William and Erica, it's like every 5th or 6th delivery.
Are you serious?
It's at their house. Seriously, it's so weird.
God.
But I do get it. Like on our street, I don't want to give too much away, but it's like our address is like only numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So as someone who has like the number dyslexia, sure, I could totally get reading it wrong, but I also have so much anxiety if I'm dropping something off somewhere or like picking up from my buy nothing group that I'm not approaching the wrong house, that I will like keep my phone in my hand after I like disconnect it from CarPlay, get out of my car and make sure I'm going to the right house.
Yep.
So accidents happen. I get it. And precautions can be taken to not drop off at the wrong house.
I feel like that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I had a DoorDash driver one time chastise me for not having my house clearly labeled, but it definitely is. The numbers are right fucking there, but it was also at night.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are you asking me to illuminate my house numbers for you? The light's on. I don't know what else I can do.
We have a front light, but our house number isn't under our front light. It's under like the overhang over our front door. So ours isn't illuminated either, but it is clearly marked.
Yeah, but I was like, how do you yell at all of your customers who don't have their lights like illuminated at night? I don't know. It was very weird. Some companies will provide a replacement for the item, like Amazon or Wayfair or something. If you say it never showed up, they'll just resend it. They don't give a shit.
They have so much money that they can. I had that happen with Wayfair. Well, they sent me the wrong thing, but I offered to send it back, and they were like, just keep it. We'll send you the right one. And I was like, okay.
It's more expensive for them to have that shit shipped back.
It is. The freight costs the most, and the return is like way more expensive for whatever reason. I don't know.
You have to like reshelve it.
Right, and it was built.
Those kinds of like workflows are only designed to work one way. It's like a huge pain in the ass to return something.
Yeah, and it looked really similar, so we did have to assemble it to discover that it was different. So sending it back, and we use it.
What is it?
It's a side table.
Oh, okay.
It's just in Bill's office instead of in our bedroom because it didn't match. We wanted the ones without handle pulls, and this one had a drawer pull on it.
Ugh.
So frustrating.
The worst.
I know. It was truly a dark time.
Yes. I'm glad that you came out on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, worst thing that happened to me in 2020 was that missed delivery. That was a joke. That was a joke about my privilege, everybody.
Oh my God.
Make that clear before that clip goes viral.
Oh my God. Neither of us can ever run for any kind of important office. Okay.
Nope.
But if you're buying a unique item, like if it's something vintage, if it's something handmade, if it's like something like that, then it's likely that you will need to file a claim in order for you to be reimbursed. And that claim is filed through whatever carrier was used. And unfortunately, carriers are not known for their customer service, so claims can take a very long time to resolve. And sometimes it's not clear who should be filing the claim. If it's you or the seller or whatever. When that happens to us, we usually as long as it's someone who hasn't requested this before, just resend it. But it's hard for a small business.
Resend it or refund it if we can't resend it for whatever reason.
Yeah, like we're on pretty fucking tight margins. It's a little bit painful to resend stuff, but I also understand shit happens and the customer's already paid for it. So
yeah, if you're not like a repeat offender claiming that bullshit, then we're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's just like. Then I'm pissed off that you had a Porch Pirate too.
Oh, yeah.
It's just shitty.
Well, right, yeah.
According to a CBS article from last December, it's not the most recent, but Porch Pirates stole over $12 billion worth of goods from consumers' front steps in 2024.
In the U.S.?
Yeah.
12 billion? Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of fucking money.
I will get to it, but I can tell you now the average value of a stolen package. Guess what the average value is?
$15.
$204.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are people order? That's the average?
That's the average.
Well, I guess if people like furniture delivery. Dang, I am not ordering expensive stuff, clearly, if I'm like $15.
Right. But yeah, that's where that 12 billion comes from.
Damn.
And that's also only an estimate because, like I said before, most of these kinds of thefts aren't reported to like any kind of central agency or like authorities of any kind.
Right.
So I have some steps that can be taken to mitigate, but of course not eliminate the threat of porch piracy. Mm-hmm. So as we were just discussing, keep your entry area /porch/steps well lit because shady people like to be in the dark.
Yes.
But also a lot of them operate in the middle of the day, which we'll also kind of address. But still keep it well lit. Because if you have like a Ring camera, you want to be able to see their features. Mm-hmm. Track the shit that you order. If you follow the tracking number, you can try to be home during the estimated delivery window.
Yeah.
I track relentlessly.
I do too. And, we work from home for the most part. So, like, it's pretty easy to make sure that we're home. Our neighborhood is, like, so quiet. Mm-hmm. I've definitely had stuff sitting out.
Yeah.
And not had it touched.
Yes. Yeah. We have a pretty similar situation. I also have so much shit on my porch most of the time that my mail carrier, shout out Zach, USPS, he'll like put it behind.
Just tucks it behind a different pile of shit.
That's why I couldn't find my fast growing trees tree for like
an entire tree.
A few days. I missed an entire tree. That's how much shit I had on my porch.
That's amazing.
And I found it. Thank God I found it like 2 days after it was delivered. It was totally fine. But I was like, oh my God, how long has this been here? I have no awareness.
Amazing.
Carriers like USPS, FedEx, and UPS do offer signature options. So depending on who you're buying your goods from, you might be able to ask the seller or like tick a box to request that they add a signature option to your order.
Yep.
Some retailers will automatically add the option depending on the declared value of the package. Like if you're shipping like gold or something really...
Don't ship gold, but if you are, insure it.
Oh, gold is shipped all the time. Gold.
I suppose. Jewelry.
Yeah.
I was thinking like just hundreds of gold bars. I'm clearly very high. The first thing I thought of as I wear a gold wedding ring
Scrooge
is,
McDuck.
who's shipping gold bars?
In a pirate chest? You crazy?
Who has that kind of money? In esta economía? ¿Seis leches? Hell no.
So some retailers, if it's expensive enough, they will automatically add a signature required, and that's really just to protect their bottom line. Mm-hmm. And these claims processes can take like weeks. So if an item is signed for by the customer, then the carrier can prove that they're not liable and probably process the claim a lot faster. Mm-hmm. Another tip, get a door camera.
Yeah, the Ring doorbell, it does have a lot of benefits. In fact, just now, sorry if you saw me looking down, I was texting. My neighbors are having a tree removed from their property, but it comes over our entire property. It has my swing in it. R.I.P. my swing. I have to get I swapped out my swing for a hammock chair, so I'll just get a freestanding holder
You'll lose
for
some
it.
shade, that nice shade.
I know, but that's actually good because that means that opens up a lot more of what I can plant in the front because I couldn't plant it there because things needed full sun.
Oh.
But my neighbor was texting me to move our cars, and I was like, I can't. I'm recording right now. Let me text my husband. And my neighbor just talked to him through the Ring doorbell, even though he's at the hardware store right now. Because they came over to ring the bell, and he answered to ask to move the cars. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm over at Ace. I'll move them when I get home. So the Ring doorbell is beneficial.
I have an Arlo, but I love it. Mm-hmm. I also have a Bird Buddy, which could double as a security camera.
Your Bird Buddy feed, iconic.
Do you watch it? I had some grackles this morning.
Yes. I love your birds. But I mostly like looking through the feed from like all over the world.
Yes.
To see all these amazing birds.
Global bird highlights.
Oh, so good. It's TikTok, but only birds. It's only bird content.
Uncut footage of birds. Mm-hmm. You could probably even deter people with a fake door camera. Mm-hmm. But real one, I would say, is worth it. Mm-hmm. And this might not stop a porch pirate from scuttling away with your package like a creep, like a little coward. But that does provide you with evidence to add to a police report if it came to that. That being said, as an article from The Guardian points out, watching a porch pirate at work stealing your shit is a little bit like salt in the woundy.
That would be the worst.
I watched the video of that guy stealing the bike too much, and then I was like, I'm too mad.
Yeah,
and
I
we
can't
did
look at
file a
this.
police report. They didn't do jack shit about it.
I filed a report about my bike being stolen, and they didn't care.
They just don't.
They alerted me when there was a massive, like, police sweep of hundreds and hundreds of stolen bikes, but none of them match my serial number. Register your bike.
Register your bike. Get that number.
If you, especially if you're in a big city or any kind of city, because bike theft is like a very pervasive thing. And it sucks. It happened. I understand that, again, most theft are crimes of necessity and desperation. So like whatever that person who stole my bike is going through, I can have empathy for that. But I also had 2 jobs and no car, and that was the only way I was getting around.
Jesus Christ.
That was a rough time.
Yeah.
That was a rough time to have my bike stolen.
Yeah.
And I had like used all the money that I saved up that I didn't have enough to get a car, but I had enough to get a nice new bike. And I got a nice new bike. I mean, at that, it was like $600, which isn't, it's not cheap, but that's
a nice bike.
In terms of bikes, like you can spend a whole lot more on a bike. I understand that. But that was a devastating loss at that time.
Yeah. Corey didn't ride his bike very much, but he can recognize people. Like, I don't know what his beautiful mind. He thought he knew who stole his bike, and then he saw that guy riding his bike around town like several more times after that.
Oh, yeah. Talk about salt in the wound. I'd be pulling over.
Well, he couldn't prove it, and he doesn't know this guy. He just lives in our neighborhood. And when we first looked at the footage, he's like, that looks like the guy that lives down the street. Whatever. Okay, other tips. Have your orders delivered to a business address where somebody can like bring it inside.
That's what I did after my basement incident. All of my packages went to the restaurant that I worked at.
Yeah. A lot of like Walgreens will accept packages. You can also ask your neighbors to bring your shit inside. My neighbors have asked me to take their shit but keep it in my house.
We do that.
You don't need a key to your neighbors. Just
some of us have each other's keys, but yeah, if we don't have a key, we'll just bring packages inside for people.
Yeah.
Neighbor group chat.
You can also find out which one of your neighbors is constantly like peering out the blinds. Because it's me. I'm that one.
Your package was delivered. Are you home? Do you want me to get it?
Can I get it?
Where's
it from?
You are home? Can I still use my key to come over and bring it into your house?
Yuck. I cannot tell you how many times I've like alerted neighbors about like really random things that I just see because I'm peering out the window like a creep.
Yeah, you're like a Hitchcock film with your glass of wine and your broken leg and your binoculars, just staring at the neighbors. You witness a murder, but no one believes you.
Rear window,
anyone?
Oh my God. No, I told you that one time I was standing in my living room staring out my front picture window. I was about to leave to go do something. I was wearing all black. And I was eating out of a bag of popcorn that I had gotten from the movie theater from the night before.
Literally had your popcorn.
I had my popcorn. I was just staring out the window at these people moving in across the street.
You psycho.
Well, I was just zoned out. I didn't realize that they could see me. And then as soon as I realized it, I also realized they were all 4 looking at me.
What the fuck is this lady doing?
I just slowly turned around and walked into my kitchen.
Oh, I would have waved.
In my memory, there were like crows circling my yard. They decide not to move in.
For sale sign goes up the next day. Not worth it.
No take backsies. If you had to, you could utilize home access delivery services like Amazon Key.
No.
It just lets them into your garage or like into your yard if there's like a passcode, like a gate.
Oh my God. No.
That seems, yeah.
No, I won't even get like a keypad door entry. I'm too scared it could be hacked.
I'm sure they can be.
And I have very
They're really
little of value.
convenient, though.
Nothing freaks me out much more than a home invasion.
You know, when your reaction to me talking about gold being shipped did give me an indication that you don't have much of value in
No, who's shipping gold bars?
Gold?
Gold? Wait, what? That's preposterous. Yeah,
okay,
girl.
Rockefeller.
Yeah. Let's just say Hertz over here.
Who's shipping gold?
I don't know. And esta economía
Well, it gets truer and truer every day.
really does.
Speaking of which, my last tip, stop ordering from Amazon.
Stop ordering, certainly from Amazon, but like, don't order anything anymore that you don't need, that you don't like really, really need. We overconsume way too much.
And shopping from home, online shopping is so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it skyrocketed during the pandemic, but it hasn't gone down that much since then.
No, because people were like, oh shit, the convenience. And trust us, we get that. I do all of my clothing shopping, like all the shopping that I can do from home, I do from home. But I try to do it sparingly. Yeah. And a great tip that can help alleviate porch piracy is basically join your local Buy Nothing group. And then you're like a porch pirate, but with consent.
With consent.
Yeah. I do love if I'm like, oh shit, I need this. Our Buy Nothing group, I'm sure all of them have similar rules, but you can ask to have or you could ask to borrow.
Oh.
And the ask to borrow is so great. I mean, when we hosted bingo, I just borrowed that bingo set off of my Buy Nothing group from a neighbor.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know how many times we're going to do bingo. I really don't want to invest company money into a bingo set that we're going to use like maybe once a year.
Or like, I need a belt sander.
Yeah, I have a neighbor actually that reminds me I have to follow up with to cut shelves for me because I have shelves that are just a little bit too deep. And so I went on my Buy Nothing group and I was like, I have a saw, but I'm not going to do this well. Like ask to borrow the time and expertise of somebody who has like a table saw to just do these quick cuts on 3 sets, 3 shelves.
That's awesome.
And one of my neighbors was like, I've got one in the garage. Just, let me know when the weather's nice and you want to come by.
I love that.
It's really great. And I've gotten to know my neighbors in like more than just the 4 houses like around my house.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Community
it's pretty great.
building.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I've gotten access to and I've given away a lot of stuff. A lot. And I don't mind, not selling it on Marketplace because like I know it's in the hands of my neighbors and that if I needed it again, I could borrow it.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that.
So do
Keep
that.
it small.
Fuck Amazon. Do that.
Well, in 2024, Amazon packages made up 27% of all parcels that went through the mail.
I mean, I believe it because they have Amazon Pharmacy. They can, there's like food that, it's a monopolized conglomerate of provisions.
It's fucking nuts.
And, it can be very hard for people in communities that don't have access to, pharmacies, grocery, a store to get clothing and things like that to have like any other viable option.
Scott and I were talking just the other day about how there are pharmacy deserts because there are a lot of areas where crime and like addiction rates are so high that if you work at a pharmacy, you just become like a walk-in clinic kind of in some ways.
Well, and, businesses will choose not to open pharmaceutical options in areas with quote unquote high crime rates because the insurance rates are so high that they it's very hard to get insured. Yeah. Which is super fucked up because then it's just more resources being removed from a community that if it has a high crime rate, then it likely is correlated to the need for resources to alleviate the desperation
of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. That leads to crime.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. So yes, boycott the things if you have the means to do that. And also like, don't climb up the asses of marginalized people who rely on those services to survive. But the nuance exists. Both things can be true.
Yep. It's complicated out here, folks. But yeah, if you can shop more in person, you're obviously not going to have packages stolen off of your porch. And it's not going to contribute to billionaires getting richer, especially if consumers do it en masse, like the Target boycott, which is absolutely working. That's so exciting.
As is the Tesla boycott. That motherfucker lost, what, 72% of, like, the Tesla business in the last, like, 3 months?
Goodbye.
It's
Please
gorgeous.
crawl back into your hole.
Keep doing it. Keep doing
going. Security.org put out an annual report about package theft from last year, from 2024, and here are some interesting things to note. As many as 58 million people have been affected by the Porch Pirate scourge.
Honestly, that seems low.
Yep. Kentucky, North Dakota, Nebraska, Alaska, and Iowa have the highest rates of package theft.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it might have partially to do with the fact that there aren't a lot of urban areas in those states.
So people have porches, yards. It's, I would imagine it would be relatively low in New York City, where most people have to have access to a building to even access the package.
Yep, absolutely.
And outside of my situation, most neighbors aren't stealing from each other. And I guess your neighbor who potentially stole the bike. The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that was
ballsy.
a while ago.
We're
it's very
neighbors.
Ballsy. I know.
How dare you, beast? How dare you?
You beast.
Beast. How dare you?
And then to like just ride it around. I mean, I guess he's using it, but
I know. The salt wound.
It's just like, oh, there goes my bike. Enjoy. Okay, so like I said, apartment dwellers experience package theft at double the rate of homeowners. I think just because you can just go in the vestibule and make a sweep. Yeah.
Because like when you think about it, there are more people who live in communal living spaces like condos and apartments than there are single family homeowners. Also, houses with multiple units can also be zoned or classified as apartments. So this would include that. But yeah, it's probably like not as convenient as just picking it up from a house. But when you think of if you can just walk in through that front door, which
and
in a lot of places
more anonymous while you're in there. If it's a huge apartment building, possibly related in a socioeconomic way, people of color are twice as likely to have a package stolen as white people. And this blows my mind. As someone who has to have their door locked when I'm at home at all times, 14% of all Americans don't do anything to prevent theft. And more than 40 million people admit to leaving their exterior doors unlocked while they're away from home, while they're not at home. So those tips that I gave you earlier, like have a door thing, track your stuff, keep your shit well lit. 14% of Americans don't do any of those things.
I will admit that Bill has had to train me to lock up better than...
Even when you're not home?
If I'm going to be gone for like more than 10 minutes, I'm going to lock up behind me. But sometimes if I'm just like running down the street, I won't lock the door when I leave. And I often don't have the door locked when I'm home by myself.
Oh my God.
Well, especially when the weather's shitty, then the door is just locked all the time. But when the weather's nice, I want to go in and out all the time. I don't lock my door.
Yeah,
and I don't have a porch to sit on. I have a patio in the back. And then, but again, my neighborhood's a snooze.
I know. And I'm paranoid.
And you're paranoid. But like, yes, that is probably unwise on my part. But I mean, just the other day, my neighbor accidentally got locked out of their house. And I'm like, well, teach you.
That would be where one of those electric keypads would come in handy.
I know. And as someone who has locked myself out of my house, I went live a couple of years ago, walking up to a bar to wait for my husband to come home.
I remember that.
I have thought about the keypad thing, but the keypad thing it just seems too hackable. It freaks me out. And I do rarely forget my keys if I am going to like leave the premises. But when it happens to me, it's usually when I'm on my scooter because I have a separate set of keys for the scooter that I do for my car.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I don't grab my house key, and I finally did like make copies of my house keys so that my scooter keys have a set and my house key and my car keys have a set.
Smart.
But also sometimes I will accidentally leave my scooter key in the ignition and then leave the garage and lock the garage door on the knob behind me. And then my house keys are locked into the garage and I'm locked out of my house. That's happened to me.
Oh my God. Well,
I'm not the smartest man, but I know what love is.
well, you're still here.
I'm still here.
You're still here. Okay, since 2018, lawmakers have passed a bunch of anti-porch pirate legislation, such as changing the offense from a misdemeanor to a felony in some states. That's why I was like, oh, a felony isn't automatically like a federal thing.
Right.
The theft of any mail from USPS is already a felony. This would just mostly the change in most of this legislation would make it apply to third-party carriers.
Right. Okay.
But as with anything in this godforsaken country, racism plays a big role here.
Always.
The potential for racial profiling from package theft panic among white homeowners. Like that people just people freak out. And then like apps like the Nextdoor app, you go on
wild.
and there's always footage of, do you recognize this person? They came up in the middle of the night, rang my doorbell.
This is why I like the Buy Nothing group, because it has very specific rules for exactly what it is. And then your community engagement is built in the in-person or DM conversations you have with your neighbors. It's not about posting like, saw so-and-so on the street or my package got so. I don't give a fuck. I even turn all of those alerts off on Ring because the Ring doorbell app will come with its own built-in like neighborhood, message board basically.
Neighborhood watch.
I was like, okay, sorry. And it was packages being stolen all the time.
All the time.
And a lot of lost pets. And then a lot of like, there's a police car with its lights on. Does anybody know what's happening? It's like, go to bed. Go to bed.
Mind your own fucking business.
Shut the fuck up and go to bed. But I'm sorry your cat ran away.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But also you seem insufferable. So maybe that's why.
Snoop on your own.
Yes. Be a Lucy.
Yes.
Look out your window
curtains.
like an American.
You get a better vantage point from the second floor. Go upstairs and spy from there.
Yeah.
Open the window so you can hear.
Don't post about everything that's happening in the neighborhood.
This is your own Snoop sesh.
Yeah, I
Don't
muted
involve
that shit.
anyone else.
I think I kept it on for like a day and a half and before I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. My phone would be full of push notifications. Full. Like scroll full. I'm like, y'all are fucking annoying and bored. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't post my snooping. I just text you guys about it.
Yes.
The ACLU of California notes that homeowners are more likely to call the police if they see a group of black teenagers come onto property in their neighborhood than they would be if the teenagers were white.
Correct.
We have seen this
Countless times.
multiple times. Trayvon Martin.
Yep.
Yeah. Critics of the laws also argue that for individuals convicted of package theft under these new measures, the repercussions far outweigh the harm. Felony convictions have consequences well beyond formal sentencing, as criminal records might bar individuals from obtaining jobs, voting in elections, and receiving government benefits. So being convicted of a felony is not something to be taken lightly.
No.
And then in addition to that, there is valid concern about utilizing technology in an attempt to dissuade or catch porch pirates that ends up simply sacrificing your privacy. So there are a lot of aspects to this problem. And as we said, everything's complex, nothing's simple, and porch pirates suck.
Yeah, like it can be a shitty thing to do and we can reprimand and not condone it and also acknowledge that the punishment for it, like Lucy said, outweighs the harm and disproportionately targets black and brown people. All of those things can be true.
Yes. I'm not saying that I have an answer.
No.
This is just laying out the details here.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if communities have what they need, then they typically don't need to steal it.
Yep.
And like that's the closest thing to an answer that we can really get to.
Exactly.
And statistics have shown that such programs work. So it's almost like they want to keep criminalizing people.
Weird. That's so weird. It is almost like that.
It's so
I wonder
weird.
why.
I wonder.
Okay, so to finish this out, I do have a small smattering of some Porch Pirate stories.
Let's
like
go.
I said at the beginning, there are a lot of like little anecdote, like little just tidbits here and there, but most of it doesn't get reported. Most of it doesn't get like prosecuted.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever. It's kind of just a thing that happens more than a thing that we can point to like a whole lot of statistics about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our first one. In Hyattsville, Maryland, back in 2022, a postal worker was delivering a package when a thief ran up and tried to take it from him. The homeowner, who was, I guess, like, saw the postal worker approaching, ran outside and tried to help them. A struggle ensued, and the thief somehow barged into the house and attacked the homeowner.
No.
They were, like, punching each other and shit. The homeowner managed to get his registered firearm and shoot the thief in the leg. So that kind of got me thinking about the porch aspect and like stand your ground laws. So this did happen inside the house. So the shooting was justified under that stand your ground law. But most stand your ground laws, from what I could understand, would apply to your front porch because it's considered an extension of your home.
Yeah, and in some states, it's just your property.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
also
so
don't
like
think that,
in your yard.
but not in all states.
That's what I'm saying. In some states, it's, I think in Florida,
Probably.
it might be.
If someone steps onto your property. That's like why, I mean, though a bunch of like kids have been shot from ringing the
through
doorbell.
the door.
Through the door, or for driving into the wrong driveway. I read about that one. So it's wild out there. Be really careful when you're on someone else's property who you don't know, who could potentially shoot and kill you.
Yeah.
In California, Arcadia police have been using dummy packages to track thieves using Apple AirTags or like similar GPS devices.
This is the way. And then fill it with glitter and make your arrest.
So they're doing this so that they don't have to like have dangerous police pursuits of like visually following someone. They can kind of like come back to it later.
Send the ticket in the mail or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least you have some time. You're not pursuing them
In real time.
chasing them.
Yeah. With heightened potential for danger from that kind of police interaction.
It also proves to be a lot more effective to do it that way. So this program has been used by the Arcadia Police Department since at least 2017 and has resulted in the arrests of repeat offenders and also people out on parole or probation. So they say that their methods are stat-based. So like if they have an uptick in package theft reports in a specific neighborhood, they'll find a resident there who's willing to have a dummy package. If they see an uptick in like mail theft, which is different, then they'll have like a dummy thing in the mailbox. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not just a whole dragnet sweep. It's like they're seeing these areas that have specific problems and they're responding
and they're
to it
targeting.
that way.
Yeah, they're targeting using resources to look into those spots that have like repeated issues with this problem.
Yes. In June 2024, one of the dummy packages was stolen from a home in Monrovia, which reminded me of Princess, welcome to Monrovia.
Monrovia.
I don't know what time the package itself was stolen, but police were monitoring its movements via the GPS. So like I said, they were not in an active pursuit. When the thief's car was involved in a one-car collision at 4:30 in the morning that killed the driver and injured the passenger. The dummy
Police
driver.
chases are fucked up.
But it wasn't. They are saying it was not a police chase. They were just watching where it was going and probably waiting for them to stop.
So they were like watching this on the GPS. They stopped abruptly. Turns out they crashed and
car
died.
accident. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So the dummy package was found in the car along with other stolen mail. My theory is that they opened it in the car and found the GPS and there was some
Freaked
kind
out.
of panic.
Don't open packages and drive.
But then if that was the case, they could have just thrown it out the window and been done with it and gotten away.
Yeah, but if they panicked and crashed,
Yeah.
then they're panicking too much to think that way. I mean, who knows? That's definitely a solid theory.
Yeah. Or maybe there were drugs or alcohol involved, and that's, it was 4:30 in the morning.
Not a reasonable hour.
At least the police are saying, and I could only find essentially the same information in multiple articles. They just poached off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It stated that they were not in pursuit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also what the cops say.
Right.
Okay, next one. Last year in Sicklerville, New Jersey, some porch pirates were caught on a Ring camera, and it made the news because in the footage, we can see two young men. They've got their hoods up. They have bandanas over their nose and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Very safe, communicable diseases and whatnot.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. It's nighttime. They rush up to the front stoop of a home at night while one kid steals a package, which we come to find out had like 4 like glasses, like cups, glasses, and something else. But it was like not valuable, not something these guys were going to want.
Sure.
One of them steals the package and the other one turns his back to the Ring camera, bends over, and starts really badly twerking. Taunting the Ring camera.
No.
The homeowner was like, you guys are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They post the video to the neighborhood Ring app and it like blows up and goes viral.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, the kid, the twerker, returns to the home to basically address the Ring camera and ask the person to take the video down. That's not cool. Please take that video down.
Shamed them out of hiding.
He then returns with one of the glasses that was broken in the box and in an attempt to like negotiate.
I'll give you back one broken glass. What about the other one?
He was just like, please,
No deal.
that's not cool.
Best I can do is one glass and it's broken.
So the video's still online.
Incredible.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they caught they were just dumb. They were like dumb 16-year-olds, seemingly. Okay, last one. In San Pablo, California, in December 2023, a woman got into some trouble after she allegedly ran down a suspected package thief with her car.
No.
Officers responded to the scene around 12:30 p.m. on December 8th to find the unidentified 60-year-old victim with, quote, major injuries.
This is not the way.
So first responders transported the victim to the hospital where she was listed in critical condition and underwent surgery before dying a couple weeks later. She fully died.
Oh, my God.
Cops learned that the driver was 39-year-old Danae Blakely, and that so she says that she had packages stolen off of her porch, but she had seen the woman doing it, and then she saw this woman on like a different day walking past her house.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, hey, I want my shit back. I know you've been stealing my packages. And this would turn into a verbal altercation, which ended up with her getting into her car and mowing over this woman.
Oh, God.
So 39-year-old Danae Blakely said that she'd been in an argument with the victim over package theft. Of course, she was arrested and charged, I believe, initially with assault with a deadly weapon being the vehicle. But then the woman died, so they added a murder charge.
Vehicular manslaughter. Or no, I guess it would be murder because it wasn't an accident. It was intentional. So it wouldn't be vehicular manslaughter.
It's definitely homicide.
Damn.
When the victim passed away on December 23rd.
Oh, my God.
So I know that a judge arraigned Blakely on the amended charges and gave her a $1 million bond. She had a scheduled court date for January 30th, but I can't find any new news about this case. She's probably still in prison. She's probably in prison.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Even if it was a box of gold bars stolen off your porch.
People over property.
Yeah.
There's a better way to bring people to justice than running them down in your car and murdering them.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Try glitter next time.
Glitter and an air tag, man.
Glitter and an air tag. 2 bits. Wow. Well done.
Thank you. I hope you learned a little bit about porch piracy, and I'm not looking forward to your case.
Nope, it's terrible, but I always learn so much from you. So thank you for your service.
Yes, you're welcome. Shall we take a short break before we get to the hell that is awaiting us?
Yes, we shall.
Okay, we'll be right back. Weather's heating up, and your nighttime bedroom temperature, especially if you're on the top floor, like myself and Amanda,
yeah,
has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long.
That silver is not just for temperature regulation either, because they're also self-cleaning. And that infused silver prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. So that leaves them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. You're not going to get those gross odors where you walk into a room and it's like, oh my God, a boy's dorm. What is going on? Those temperature regulating properties really do give a better quality sleep. Yeah, if you sleep in a converted attic or basement, hi, you need these, babe. That silver-infused fabric inspired by NASA, they are the best thermoregulating sheets. They're designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather, so you get better sleep every night. They're also designed for your skin, so having them be that like self-cleaning and bacteria-reducing. Yeah, you were sleeping on bacteria, babe. Bacteria can clog your pores. It causes breakouts. It can cause acne. You can sleep cleaner with Miracle. They also do not skimp on the comfort and the quality. They are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels.
Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/gals to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code GALS at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/gals and use the code GALS to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/gals to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. It's very true that in many true crime cases and stories, it's always like the little habits that give criminals away. Well, maybe if you reflect on that in your own life, it might be time to ditch one of your own habits. Fume is here to help with a smarter alternative. It's a flavored air device. It's not a vape, it's not a pipe, but it's something completely different. Fume lets you satisfy the urge to reach for something without nicotine, vapor, or batteries. Plus, it comes with amazing flavors like crisp mint, cinnamon hearts, and peach blush to keep things fresh.
Honestly, if you're like a fidgeter or like an oral fixation person, this is a must-have in your arsenal. Like, the weight and feel of it is so pleasant to like hold and fidget with. And then the flavors are really good. I'm a big fan of the peach blush. I have that little bit of a sweet tooth. And yeah, it's just like such a little relaxing little tool. I'm here for it.
And sometimes you just want to like step outside and like do something, like a little change of scenery.
Yes.
Without anything like unhealthy attached to it. So Fume has already helped over 400,000 people take steps toward better habits, and now it's your turn. Use our code GALS to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com. That's TRYFUM.com and use code GALS, GALS, to claim this limited time offer today.
You know what? Spring is amazing. Obviously, it's great for a lot of reasons, but let me tell you, fresh air, some sunshine, topped off with good food. Girl, that is what spring is all about, okay?
I can smell spring already with said good food, sunshine, maybe a bonfire, maybe a grill.
Ugh.
Either way, it centers around food.
It sure does. And HelloFresh makes it so much easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like, hello, pasta primavera, let's go. Chicken Dijon, let's go. Pecan-crusted trout. Hi, what are you, a Michelin star chef? As well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats? Get out of here.
I had the Mushu pork bowls the other
Yup,
day.
Me too.
It's like this, like, Asian-inspired ground pork with, like, a buttery rice and scallions.
Mm-hmm. Cabbage,
cabbage.
sesame seeds. The sauce is so good, like this kind of spicy sweet balance. It's so good. I love that one.
Can't
It
even
reheats really well too. I had some leftovers of that for lunch today.
Right? That's like my favorite thing to, like, if I am just going to the grocery store in addition to my HelloFresh, I will triple down on the rest, like the ingredients, and just make more to have leftovers.
Oh, we're a house of 2, but I always order the family of 4 so that we have extra so that I can make it again or make leftovers from the same kit.
I'm a leftover queen.
Yeah.
So obviously, Amanda and I are huge fans of HelloFresh. And starting in 2025, HelloFresh is evolving to fit every lifestyle by bringing customers even more convenience without compromising on taste, health, or homemade quality. Their new ready-made meals offer chef-crafted, flavorful dishes that are ready in just 3 minutes, so you can dig in and get outside, get some work done, get some gardening done, just play outside with your family, or get some me time. Go read a book on the porch, girl. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. It's so fresh. They've got flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when you need.
Yeah, skip it for summer vacation, then kick it back up again when you get back.
Yeah, if you're like, you know what, grocery shopping is becoming a little bit tedious and expensive, then give HelloFresh a chance. You're not going to look back.
You are not. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/gals10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. Like we've been saying, this case is a doozy. I have the fan pick case, which I once again have to point out does not fit the topic. But Kelly insisted we cover this and made their own stretch that is way worse than Tons ever was by claiming that this fits because the house that this happened in had a porch.
Did we confirm that?
I didn't see one, but I also only saw photos of the back of the house.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a sunroom for sure. That some might call that the porch.
Well, Kelly's choice.
Yeah, and you know what, Kelly? I am filing a formal complaint against you for this case. You're sick, you're deranged, and I love you. Here we go. On July 22nd, 2007, it was a seemingly normal Sunday for the Pettit family in Cheshire, Connecticut. And people are already going to know because this is very famous. But yeah, if you're wondering if it's that case, yes, it's that case.
Oh, God.
That average night turned into a night of utter fucking horror. The family consisted of the dad, Dr. William Pettit Jr., mom, Jennifer Hawk-Pettit, and their 2 daughters. Excuse me.
Hawk Pettit?
Yeah.
Don't pet the hawk.
Don't pet it. But we love Jennifer.
Hawk Pettit.
Jennifer.
No, that's a rad last name.
It is a rad last name.
Good job hyphenating.
And their 2 daughters, Haley Pettit, who is 17, and Michaela Pettit, who is 11. After church on Sunday, Jennifer and her daughters, Haley and Michaela, spent time at the beach while Dr. Pettit went golfing. And then that evening before dinner time, Michaela and her mom went to the local Stop and Shop to pick up ingredients for a meal that 11-year-old Michaela wanted to cook for the family.
Cute.
I know.
It also sounds like a perfect day.
But it's a pretty good day. I would have skipped church, but the rest of it sounds great.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was a good thing they went to church.
Maybe. It was there at the grocery store that they were tragically noticed by one of the perpetrators in this case. The individuals responsible for the crime were later identified as Joshua Komizarjevsky.
Wow.
That's going to be tough, but I have to say it a lot in this case. And Stephen Hayes, that was their name at the time, who has since come out as Linda Hayes and undergone gender transition while in prison. I will be referring to them by their last name and they, them pronouns for the rest of the case. And to any trolls who want to use this outlier as an example of quote unquote depravity in the trans community, I would invite you to fuck off and look into the overwhelming statistics of violence among cis white males before making this person a representative of your abhorrent anti-trans rhetoric.
Also, you're in the wrong place.
Correct. Also, very correct.
You might want to find a different podcast to listen
Honey, you're
to.
lost. Okay. According to the Associated Press and other reports, Komazarjevsky was the individual at the grocery store who noticed the Pettit family and chose Jennifer and Michaela as targets and then followed them home. Prosecutors would later argue at trial that Komazarjevsky's motive was money and an interest in Michaela, 11-year-old Michaela.
Oh, God.
Whom he later sexually assaulted.
Oh.
Shortly after Jennifer and Michaela returned home, Hayes sent text messages to Komazarjevsky expressing eagerness to, quote, get started and asking, quote, we still on? To which Komazarjevsky confirmed that they were, telling Hayes to, quote, hold your horses while he, Komazarjevsky, put his kid to bed.
His own kid.
I had to put this kid to bed before I, go break into this family's house and sexually assault that other kid. Give me a minute.
Great. Okay. Thank you for painting that picture.
Oh now, as far as we know, Hayes didn't know that Komazarjevsky had any intention of assaulting this kid. They both had, a rap sheet. They'd both been in and out of trouble before, mostly for like theft. And so he was under the impression that they were going to rob this house and go on their merry way, basically.
Hayes was under that impression that it was just a robbery?
Yes, and that they have maintained that throughout, everything to come after this took place.
Okay.
But of course, and we'll kind of get to it, the two at trial, they were tried separately. They're trying to pin, leadership and like main responsibility on each other. But at the end of the day, I kind of believe that because it was Komazarjevsky who was at the grocery store who picked them.
Yeah.
And then was like, hey, I found some good, good targets for our robbery. I'm following them home now. Like they look rich, whatever. Meet me here. I'm going to be ready to do this or whatever. Or he scoped out the house and then they were going to come back. Either way, I kind of believe that because it was this dude who saw them at the grocery store and followed them home to get their address so they could come back and do this. That kind of gives leadership role to me, but who knows?
Hard to know.
So the horror began in the early morning hours of July 23rd, 2007. So like middle of the night, like early, the next day after he saw them at the store. Around 3 a.m., Komazarjevsky and Hayes broke into the Pettit family home. According to Hayes' confession, the initial plan was simply to rob the house under the cover of darkness, leaving the family bound but otherwise unharmed. However, events escalated dramatically. Upon entering, Komazarjevsky found Dr. William Pettit asleep on a couch in the sunroom. Komazarjevsky entered the basement through an unlocked door and picked up a baseball bat that he found leaning on the stairs leading from the basement up to the main floor of the house.
Ugh.
He then entered the sunroom and used the bat to strike William 4 or 5 times. William was severely injured, but not, dying. And Komazarjevsky and Hayes then bound up William's wrists and ankles with plastic zip ties as well as rope, and they locked him in the basement.
Was he unconscious?
I think he was kind of in and out of consciousness, but mostly conscious, is my understanding.
Just really fucked up.
Yep. Really fucked up. And we'll get, I'm not going to detail the extent of everybody's injuries because
no, please don't.
It's not necessary, but we'll kind of get to the picture of how beat up he was. So they lock him in the basement. William remembered one of the intruders threatening, quote, if he moves, put 2 bullets in him. Like one of them said that to the other who was supposed to like keep an eye on him. I think that was, from what we know about how events transpired, I believe that to be Komazarjevsky telling Hayes keep an eye on him. If he moves, put 2 bullets in him, because then Komazarjevsky goes upstairs.
It also bolsters Hayes's defense that they didn't plan on killing anyone.
That Komazarjevsky, was the ringleader, and they had no clue. They thought this was just going to be a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
So Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela, he goes upstairs, and they were tied up and restrained in their respective bedrooms. They were tied by their wrists and ankles to their bedposts, and pillowcases were placed over their heads. After restraining the family, Komazarjevsky and Hayes ransacked the house looking for cash. They were not satisfied with what they found until they located a check register showing $40,000 in their checking account and decided to steal $15,000. So they break into the house at 3 a.m. They're there for hours.
Okay. So now it's like morning.
So now it's morning. It's like 6 hours later. So it's about 9 a.m. The intruders drive Jennifer, the mom, to the bank to have her withdraw the $15,000 sum. While at the bank, Jennifer bravely attempted to discreetly get help from the bank tellers, and I think there was a bank manager that was nearby. So according to employee and customer testimony, and then this was also corroborated, obviously not with audio, but there was surveillance footage from the bank that showed her going up to the teller, getting something out of her wallet, talking to the teller. That completely aligns with what witnesses said happened. So Jennifer goes up to the window and whispers to the bank teller that 2 men are holding her family hostage and threatening to kill them. Jennifer's sister later said in an interview, quote, "My sister took out a picture in her wallet of her 2 daughters and showed the bank manager and said, 'These are my 2 girls.' And she, the manager, said that looking at my sister from one mother to another, she knew that she was telling her the truth." So like, she discreetly says, 2 guys are holding me hostage at gunpoint. They have me coming in here to take out this money. My kids are at home. These are my kids. And they believe her. And then she leaves with the money. So the bank manager calls 911, reports the situation while Jennifer is like still there. And then the manager tells the dispatcher that Jennifer had indicated the invaders were, quote, being nice and seemed to only want money. The police were called, but the intruders were still able to get back to the Pettit family home before the cops arrived. Cheshire police responded by assessing the situation and setting up a vehicle perimeter outside and around the home, but like far enough away / undercover enough to not reveal a big police presence.
So the burglars do not currently know that the police are involved.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. While police were outside, the situation inside the house worsened. Komazarjevsky sexually assaulted 11-year-old Michaela.
Oh, my God.
He later confessed to this during interrogation, though he claimed that he thought Michaela was 14 or 16.
Oh, well, that's an easy mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Totally excusable.
Evidence from Michaela's autopsy confirmed the assault, as well as Komazarjevsky, who photographed the assault and rape on his cell phone.
Oh, God.
Forensic testing found bleach on Michaela's clothes, suggesting Komazarjevsky may have attempted to destroy DNA evidence after the rape.
But don't worry, he took pictures.
For himself.
I know.
According to Hayes' confession, Komazarjevsky then provoked Hayes into raping Jennifer, the mom. Hayes sexually assaulted Jennifer Hawk Pettit while her husband, William Pettit, was still tied up in the basement and able to hear his wife's assault upstairs. And her daughters were still tied up in their bedrooms. The older daughter, Haley, from everything that I read, was not sexually assaulted. Just Michaela and Jennifer. They could all hear this, and William yelled up from the basement at them to stop. And one of them yelled back, "Don't worry, it's all going to be over in a couple of minutes."
Ew.
Hayes said that while raping Jennifer on the living room floor, Komazarjevsky entered and announced that William had escaped. And it was then that Hayes strangled Jennifer to death.
Oh, my God.
After the assaults and the murder, the invaders decided to burn down the house to destroy evidence. Surveillance video shows Hayes purchasing $10 worth of gasoline in cans taken from the Pettit home. Hayes and Komazarjevsky doused Jennifer's lifeless body and parts of the house with gasoline, including the daughters' bedrooms and the daughters themselves, who were still tied to their beds.
Stop it. Kelly Porch.
I know.
They didn't even have a porch, probably. Oh, my God.
I know. We're all upset. Investigators later found the accelerant on the girls' beds and clothing. Hayes and Komazarjevsky started a fire and fled the scene. Tragically, Haley and Michaela both died from smoke inhalation in the fire. Haley, the 17-year-old, managed to escape her restraints and run out of her bedroom into the hallway, but she couldn't make it to the front door before she collapsed and died from the inhalation of the smoke. Her body was found at the top of the staircase.
Did the dad get out?
Dad got out.
Oh.
We're going to get to that in a second here. But burn injuries on Haley's feet indicated that she had been very close to the fire. And yeah, if they lit her or her bed on fire, then...
Yeah, it's there.
The medical examiner testified that Haley likely took up to several minutes to die of smoke inhalation, which would have been painful, scary, causing headaches, nausea, vomiting, and disorientation before falling unconscious. Michaela was found in her bedroom still tied to her bed with her lower body hanging off of the bed. Like Haley, Michaela's burns may have occurred or likely occurred while she was still alive. Certainly the initial burns did. Meanwhile, despite being beaten and tied, Dr. William Pettit Jr. had been able to free himself from his restraints in the basement. He exited the house through that one of those like basement door openings, which is how these two got in the first place.
Like a sliding door?
Not a sliding door. This is like an under the ground basement. And you know how you can go up the little stairs and it's like you come up through the ground?
Like Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Cellar door?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So there was like one of those and he came out. And that's how these two had gotten in and then how he got out. So he crawled to his neighbor's yard for help, and his neighbor initially didn't recognize him due to the severity of his injuries and the blood loss that he had suffered.
Oh my God.
He was so beaten up that they like didn't know who he was.
Oh my God.
Hayes and Komazarjevsky fled the scene in the Pettit family car. However, police surveillance teams who had surrounded the area on the bank manager's 911 call immediately spotted, pursued, and arrested them just one block away after they crashed directly into a police car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Smart.
But the entire home invasion, start to finish, lasted about 7 hours. So for like the last hour of it, the cops were outside. When the bulk of the violence happened, the cops were outside.
What were they doing?
Setting up a perimeter, waiting it out to catch them.
Oh, that whole family could have still been alive.
Yep.
Could have survived the whole thing. Why wouldn't they go in there? That's like some Uvalde shit.
Yep. Authorities face, or not even knock, not even go to the door.
Unfucking believable.
Like, this woman straight up told the bank teller that she was being held hostage in her home.
Yeah, why are you not in a rush?
Enough to set up this big police perimeter, but no one's trying to get into the house or get in contact with the people inside of the house? Yeah, so...
What are we paying for?
Yeah, good fucking question. Authorities faced criticism for not entering the house sooner, but a police captain testified that standard procedure was followed.
Yeah, that's what they always fucking say. Fix your standard procedure then.
Yeah.
Something's off.
Something's way off. And the town manager, which is like, it's kind of like if your town is too small to even have like a mayor, you're just the town manager.
Like a council.
Yeah, this is like their small local government leadership.
Their administration.
Yeah, so this guy agreed that police did what they were trained to do and maintains that the police response has been unfairly blamed. Okay. I mean, you know how I feel about this, and if I start to go there, we'll be here for 2 more hours, so.
I know. It's nothing we haven't said before. It's
exactly.
Just like,
it's just extraordinarily frustrating.
Almost a whole family is dead. 2 children. You were just hanging out outside.
Yeah, it's really fucking heartbreaking, especially knowing the depths of the violence that was happening inside of that home.
Yeah.
That they were, no more than a few hundred yards away.
They probably could have heard them if they...
While a mother and a child were raped and then 2 children were burned alive and a mother was strangled to death. Like, while children are being shot inside of a school. I mean, it's that kind of shit that just, you chose this job to be a hero, go fucking be a hero then.
Yeah.
Like, then do it. Oh, you're too scared? Then this is the job for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, both Hayes and Komizarjevsky confessed to the murders, though each claimed the other was the driving force and the mastermind behind the invasion. Komizarjevsky even blamed William Pettit in his diary, calling the dad, William Pettit.
Who blamed him?
Komizarjevsky, the man who
raped a child,
raped his daughter and encouraged, allegedly, his accomplice to rape his wife. That guy was bitching about William in his prison diary. Okay. Calling William a coward who could have saved his family. Okay.
My God.
Hayes later claimed in a jailhouse interview that they had, quote, just snapped when they saw the police outside and after Komizarjevsky told them about assaulting Michaela, stating that what happened next wasn't who I am. So I think that's to say, like, why would you light them on fire? Like, it's like, once I realized that it was all over, that I knew the depths of what my accomplice had gone to with that child and that I had just killed this woman and the police are outside, I just snapped. Whether or not I believe that, I don't fucking know.
I don't have to condone it or empathize with it, but I can understand the logic to a degree.
The panic, I mean, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. I don't even want to put myself in the mindset of any individual who could do this. Mm-hmm. So I can't linger on thinking about, it doesn't matter whether or not I believe what they're saying, what they said in court. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Both of them did this and they have to fucking live with that. They have to make right with their God about it. Yeah. I don't have to get into their fucking mind about it. So the case quickly garnered significant attention, becoming, quote, possibly the most widely publicized crime in Connecticut's history and receiving national and international coverage. The severity of the crime led to immediate calls for criminal justice reforms in Connecticut, but not,
police
on
reform.
The sides of the police, only on the sides of the perpetrators.
What did they want? Harsher punishment?
Governor Rell ordered electronic monitoring of paroled burglars, since both of these two were on parole or had been previously paroled and had a rap sheet. A bipartisan crime bill was signed into law, making home invasion a new class of crime with a sentence of up to 25 years. Notice how these reforms did not extend to the police response. The trials were intense and highly publicized. Again, the two were tried separately. So Hayes' trial began first on September 13th of 2010. The defense argued that Komizarjevsky was the mastermind who escalated the violence. Prosecutors argued that both of them shared responsibility, which I agree with. On October 5th, 2010, Hayes was found guilty on 16 of 17 charges, including murder, kidnapping, and sexual assault. The jury recommended the death penalty on November 8th of 2010 for each of the 6 capital felony counts. Hayes' defense attorney argued that life in prison would be a harsher punishment than death, as Hayes would be tormented by guilt. However, upon hearing the death sentence recommendation, Hayes was thrilled.
All about it?
Yep. And, probably because...
That lines up with what they said before about burning the house down.
Right. And probably because frankly, I hope they feel guilt about it, because they should. Right. This is a horrific fucking thing that you were part of, that you committed.
Mm-hmm. Co-committed. That wouldn't have happened if you weren't there.
Mm-hmm. Or certainly you wouldn't have been involved in something so heinous. Said they were thrilled, according to their defense attorney. Dr. William Pettit testified at trial and stated that God would be the final arbiter and Hayes faced more serious punishment from the Lord. Jurors later reported deliberating for a long time to weigh all evidence properly, and on December 2nd, 2010, Judge John C. Blue formally sentenced Hayes to death by lethal injection, adding 106 years for other crimes, telling Hayes, quote, "This is a terrible sentence, but is, in truth, a sentence you wrote for yourself in flames."
Oh, Jesus.
I know. And I was sitting at the time staring at that quote, and I'm like, It might be inappropriate, but I kind of do love it when judges like bring the drama with their rulings like this. Like, it's fucking poetic.
Really melodramatic.
I don't support the death penalty, but I can acknowledge like good writing and delivery when I see it. So
yeah,
I'm acknowledging it. A sentence you wrote for yourself in flames. It gave me a chill. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not even that creative. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
Yep. Hayes did apologize and, try to atone at his sentencing and stated that death would be a welcome relief. Komazarjevsky's trial began on September 19th of 2011. His attorneys also attempted to blame Hayes, portraying Komazarjevsky as confused and easily led.
What?
Yeah, didn't work. On October 13th, 2011, Komazarjevsky was convicted on all 17 counts, including capital murder, kidnapping, burglary, arson, and assault. On December 9th, 2011, the jury also recommended the death penalty. On January 27th, 2012, the same judge, Judge Blue, sentenced Komazarjevsky to death by lethal injection. Komazarjevsky made a statement acknowledging his part, but insisting he didn't intend to kill anyone.
Well, that's not what the gasoline says.
No.
Kelly, I'm so mad at you.
That you, stole the cans out of the basement, ran to the gas station, and came back with. The fuck? I mean, I don't even, whatever. Both, as I mentioned earlier, both Hayes and Komazarjevsky had prior criminal histories, including burglary convictions, and had met at a halfway house after being paroled. So that's how they became friends. Komazarjevsky had a troubled past, including childhood sexual abuse, and his parole was controversial as the parole board was reportedly, not filled in entirely on the details from his previous hearings. And then they granted him parole. And it's yikes.
Wait, they granted him parole?
Yeah, he was out on parole.
Oh, before the murders.
Before the murders. Yeah,
okay,
not after the murders, but he was able to commit these crimes because he was out on parole is where a lot of people feel that the parole board fucked up and shouldn't have released him and were not doing their due diligence to make sure they had all of the details from his previous hearings where he had been denied.
Were there violent crimes on his record?
It says including burglary convictions. I don't know. I don't know all of the crimes that were on his record, but...
Okay. But either way, enough people felt like he should not have been granted parole.
Correct. Hayes had a long history of arrests and incarceration as well. This case had, even though I don't think Hayes was on parole at the time of these crimes, but that was how they had met on one of their many stints in prison, and they met at a halfway house after the fact.
Okay.
So this case, of course, had a profound impact on Connecticut's capital punishment laws and just the community and the state as a whole. The murders motivated proponents of the death penalty and were cited as a reason against its repeal. And the case did stall momentum that had been building for abolition of the death penalty and ultimately delayed rulings on abolition of the death penalty in the state of Connecticut.
Just because it was so fraught?
Because this was such a devastating case.
Yeah.
And I think people were really grappling with the trauma and the violence of this case and feeling like the death penalty was warranted. And frankly, I do understand that. Mm-hmm. It's, abolition is not always an easy pill to swallow. And it's hard not to believe that there are certainly some people who deserve to die.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple pretty high up off the top of my head.
At this particular moment.
But the death penalty and our justice system are just not equitable enough, in my opinion, for us to ever take the risk. And too many people we know for a fact, have been sentenced to death for wrongful convictions, that I would rather have actual violent offenders like these two have to spend the rest of their life in prison and be locked up somewhere forever than put them to death if there's any risk that they didn't do it.
I agree.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to me. But I also do not disparage surviving family members in horrifying trauma from this kind of shit for feeling like people like this deserve to die. On an emotional level, I really do get it. And I don't disparage those feelings. Your feelings are valid. I can't imagine what you're going through. I just can't rectify the two things for myself personally. Anyway, so this ultimately delayed that ruling. In 2009, Governor Rell vetoed legislation to abolish the death penalty and specifically cited the Cheshire murders as like part of the reason why. He's like, these two were sentenced to death after doing this heinous thing. We want to be able to bring justice that fits the crime, was basically what he was saying in that veto. In 2012, Connecticut did repeal the death penalty for future cases, but the state Supreme Court later declared that all capital punishment is inconsistent with the state constitution. That happened as of August 2015, and that was before these two had, because if you get sentenced to death, you start filing appeals immediately. You're not given the lethal injection in like 2 weeks. It takes years and years and years on death row before most people are executed. So essentially, the state abolished the death penalty while they were still on death row, which kind of automatically changed their sentences to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So they're still in prison. This decision was met with disappointment by Dr. Pettit and Jennifer Hawk Pettit's sister.
I bet.
Which, again, I'm not going to disparage them for that. I understand.
You were allowed all of the emotions in the universe.
Yep. And I am not judging you for that whatsoever. As of August 2016, both inmates were transferred to separate prison facilities in Pennsylvania for security reasons. This was just like such a high-level case, and also we know that cases involving children can often not be seen favorably by other inmates in prison.
And the fact that Hayes is trans, I'm sure, was an added layer of danger for them.
Hayes did not begin their transition until after all of this. Like that was, I think, a few years later in prison. So I don't know if they were out, quote unquote, in that regard before they were put in these separate facilities, or if that was a factor at that time. It's certainly a factor now.
But yeah, the kid thing alone.
But yeah, we know that would have been known when both of them first went into prison. In the years following the tragedy, efforts have been made to honor the memories of Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela and support the community. Dr. William Pettit created the Pettit Family Foundation to raise and distribute funds to help educate young people, especially in the sciences. He's a doctor, and his kids had been interested in different sciences that we're about to get to also support those with chronic illness. The mom had MS, and so that's why that was an important part of the foundation, and to protect those affected by violence.
Jennifer had MS?
Yes. Haley, the 17-year-old, had been preparing for her freshman year at Dartmouth College, and she wanted to study medicine. She was a high honor roll student and active in sports, as well as regular community service. Michaela, who attended Chase Collegiate School, planned to continue her sister's fundraising efforts for multiple sclerosis research inspired by their mother's diagnosis. A scholarship fund in Michaela's name was established at Chase Collegiate School. The community also came together, so there's an event called Cheshire's Lights of Hope, and this happens annually, and thousands of luminaries are lit.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was founded by local residents to bring the town together and remember the family. The event raises money for multiple sclerosis and memorial funds, and also supports town needs like social services and scholarships, embodying Dr. Pettit's message that he spoke at one of these memorial services to, quote, help a neighbor, fight for a cause, and love your family. The town manager noted that these community efforts and the foundation have helped the town move forward and become a tighter community while also serving as a reminder of the tragedy. Dr. William Pettit remarried in 2012 to a woman named Christine Plouffe, who he met when he was volunteering for the Pettit Family Foundation, and they had a son, William Pettit III, in 2013, and he ran for Congress in Connecticut.
Wow.
And successfully campaigned for the Connecticut General Assembly, or he thought about running for Congress and then campaigned for the Connecticut General Assembly and served as a state representative from 2016 to 2023.
Dang.
He never did go back to practicing medicine and instead has dedicated his time to the foundations and honoring his family.
That's really sweet. I'm glad that he remarried and had another child and,
found some peace.
Had a good bit of life after this.
There's no replacing the family.
No, that's not what I was insinuating.
No, the family that you lost, but your family would also want you to live a life. And if you are lucky enough to fall in love again and, make the choice to bring a baby into the world, then live your life.
Yeah.
You got, this guy has a lot of time left.
God, that was devastating.
It's definitely up there with one of the most devastating fucking cases that we have ever been forced to cover.
Yeah.
So thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you.
The fuck is my vape?
Thank you for... You got the apparel for the sentiment.
Get your where the fuck is my vape sweatshirt now to help you limp through these brutal cases. Convenient pocket on the front for your vape.
There you go. You're not going to lose your vape. It's in your pouch. Well, thank you, Kelly, for your generous support. And shout out to Angela and Tall Kelly. You need to rein your girl in because check on your friends.
Yes, check on your friends.
Make sure they're okay.
And if you want to hear this episode or any of our next upcoming episodes ad-free, join us over on Wine and Crime Uncorked to get all the same day ad-free content and bonus content on the side.
Hell yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos, sources, and other resources, head to wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, check out our premium channel at wineandcrimepodcast.com/uncorked. Cheers!
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets, with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.